Sorry about that. The settings for sounds had changed. Does that sometimes when it updates. But yeah, this is Disco Elysium, episode 5. Let's get into it.
Stuck in the rain in a traffic jam, man. What's on your mind?
You seem like a man who knows about drugs.
Ah, man. Me and narcotics go way back. Had some good times surfing the psychic waves of my own consciousness, you know?
Oh, a sec, I need to refill my coffee. Okay, I'm back.
But those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man?
Do you finance those other addictions with the drug trafficking?
Hey, man, that's serious criminal talk. Are you trying to pull some sort of an entrapment thing on me?
Entrapment is a practice whereby an officer of the law induces a person to commit a criminal offense that the person would have otherwise been unlikely to commit, usually through some trickery, persuasion, or fraud.
Let me be straight with you. I'm trying to figure out who's been smuggling drugs out of Terminal B.
We have a credible lead, sir. Someone on this roundabout is waiting for a bulk shipment from the harbor to load it on their lorry and drive it to Jamrock.
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed toward a conflagration.
Who do you think could be conducting the drug trade then?
Look, man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those questions.
We wouldn't say he's lying, sire.
What are you hauling anyway?
Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that.
Relax. He's merely joking.
Wicked. I always wanted a friend in the underworld.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul of cargo is mostly sporting goods. You know, tracksuits and that kind of thing. They usually get shipped to Grad and the Occidents, though we've been making headway in the Il Moran market lately.
Could I get one of those fallen tracksuits you're holding?
We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy.
So nothing illegal then?
Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was on the road.
That's your machine behind you?
This rockin' beauty. Sure is. Like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery?
A motor lorry, also called a camion, on Caillou and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed up enough to be some sort of found rust bucket. Maybe the A6.
That fallen A6 you got there?
Good eye, my man. Yup, she's an old one, but reliable. Me and her spent a long time together.
Right, I had other questions.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
That's all for now, but... Stop, between those trucks down there. Smokes. Go get it. A bold slogan, Humanox, covers the truck.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's being reassembled piece by piece, secured and mounted in the air with the aid of numerous ropes and rods.
Who is this?
A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, I am Philip III, the Squanderer. the greatest of the Philippian kings of Revachol, son of Philip II, the opulent,
The
father
opulent.
of Philip IV, the insane.
Encyclopedia, medium 11. What did this king do?
What did he do? You have no idea what you did a week ago. How would you know what this guy did many centuries ago? High above you, the king stands triumphantly oblivious to your memory trouble. An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic light. Even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old sumptuous Philip was known for his profligacy.
In what way?
Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers, the suzerain of Revachol. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy. During the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line and the monarchy on the Insulindian Isola.
How did he manage to blow through the entire national treasury?
Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber, where he stored unfathomable wealth. Krugerrands, bars of gold, ornate weaponry, armor, and various chalices. He called it the Sol Auron. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon, instead of a bed, like a normal person.
Wait, really? There's no way that's true.
But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction.
The what now?
You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry. He was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy.
Nose candy.
Not just any nose candy, though. We're talking Royal Philippian Blow, allegedly twice as potent as the stuff you find nowadays, and purple. Philippian cocaine was purple.
So he was addicted to nose candy, a bloated druggie.
That's what the revolutionaries said 150 years later, right before they emptied out the royal mausoleum and dumped His Majesty's mortal remains in the Insulindian Bay.
Okay, where is he buried now?
Beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, thrown there by the revolutionaries after they cleaned out the royal mausoleum. A group of marble pleurons still surround the king's vandalized tomb. A deathly cold wind sweeps up candy wrappers and old newspapers.
What happened to the statue?
The original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of the coalition's airships during the turn-of-the-century revolution, when Martinez was leveled. Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately saved the statue. If the communards had more time, they would have reduced it up to even finer pieces.
What restored the monument?
Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought it would be ironic to restore the statue of the most wasteful ruler of Revachol in the poorest part of the city. The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a sea of shit.
A sea of shit. That's brilliant, so funny and nihilistic.
People in Martinez tend to disagree, as do many prominent art critics and thought leaders with more nuanced social awareness than the young ironists. Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his bronze face up in the air, doesn't seem concerned about what the hoi polloi think of him in death. Not that he ever did in life either.
Monies. A foreign car kept in good condition.
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Grad-made machine is well kept for such an old machine.
Look in the window.
The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman's cabin with personal belongings, stickers, insignia.
What kind of stickers and insignia?
The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamations about honor, strength, and purity are glued to various panels.
What about the back seat?
The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep, large ashtrays. There are several suns and wheels sewn into the curtains.
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy.
You think this lorry belongs to our tough guy?
Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
He was acting tough before. This probably scared him a bit. Who knows when it will come in handy? A slightly scared, racist lorryman.
The lorries probably stored food here. Now they stored boots.
Bastards! We have a right to work!
The man yells towards the harbor gate. His voice is the loudest of the lot, and oddly screechy for a man his size. What's going on here?
Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
The broad-shouldered alpha male turns to you. He's a full head taller than everyone else here.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down.
No.
Good. We're fighting for a cause here. Right to work! Right to work! Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence.
Regardless, I have some questions for you.
Maybe you should ask them the questions. Like, why we're not allowed to make a living here. Shame on you!
He bellows to the gate.
We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
He points his finger at the man sitting on the railing.
So do we, Scott.
Who are all these strikebreakers?
Honest men and women, with rights, to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests.
The man runs a hand through his steadily graying military haircut.
We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were given a job to do!
What exactly is your goal here?
We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates.
And you are unable to breach the entrance.
Main gate's locked. It'd take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Try to get in through the secretary's office. Door's locked. The guard's blocking the way to the access panel. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is.
Wait, head measure?
Huge Seminese guy standing up there on the overhead passage. Won't let anyone by. The access panel is right behind him.
How bad could one guy be? You seem capable.
Bad. Standing on a narrow bridge, he's got a strategically advantageous position. And he's trained. I don't know how the Union has a trained killer up there. But that one's no joke. And my men are tired and hungry. They're workers, not fighters.
Why don't you just talk to them?
Like civilized folk, you mean? These native fucks don't understand civilized.
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now, if you can't get in anyway.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then, we charge.
I want to get into the harbor now.
Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. I'm trying to meet their fat boss.
This is an official matter, not to be discussed with outsiders.
Right to work! It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup. Open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
This really isn't my area of expertise.
We are not picking a side in this just yet, sir.
Pity. Let us work!
He turns around and bellows at the gate. We're just going to leave now.
The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands, and there is a warm smile on her face. The photo, an ambrotype from the turn of the century, as golden as her smile.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'd like to ask some questions.
No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her.
Snap your finger in front of her face.
If you want her attention, you may need to be more forceful.
Snap your fingers twice.
Where am I? Who are you?
Like a magician recalling a subject from hypnosis. You've jolted her back to reality. I was actually hoping you could tell me that.
Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam in the 50s.
Where else would you be then?
Back in Mefka, during the time of the revolution. The sidewalks and cafes are filled with young people. I was on my way to see a new Boyadero picture starring Gabriel Buendero. Until you came along, that is.
So I think you were in Mesk when you were young.
Someone was.
She nods as though her meaning were perfectly clear. Who's Gabriel Buengero?
This is Gabriel Buendero.
She shows you a photograph in a lavish amber frame.
A strikingly handsome man looks straight at you, his head crowned with a wide brim hat. His hair is dark as an oil slick, and his jaw the most perfectly chiseled thing you've ever seen. This man's got a hold over her, even 50 years later. You can feel it.
He was the biggest star of his day. Girls used to faint in the aisles of cinema whenever he came on the screen. And schoolboys used to memorize all his lines.
She leans back, savoring the world she's conjured up.
In all likelihood, it's a world that's only ever existed in her mind.
Someone, are these not your memories?
They are someone's memories, boy. What difference does it make if it's me or not? They're beautiful. That is all that matters. Beautiful and true. And they will win. They're coming for this, you know? All of this.
Sorry to interrupt your dream, ma'am.
I wasn't dreaming. I was there, Loman. It was early spring, and the man behind the black sun had just come out. The posters were 20 meters tall. Everything was golden.
Her eyes narrow, and she appears to take your measure.
While you, people, were tearing each other apart over your petty little revolution. In Meth, It was a golden age.
The Republic of Mesk is a massive confederation on the Isola of Muindi, the world's largest state by territory. It's a petrostate, a constitutional monarchy, and, as of recently, an outcast due to its tilt to the far right.
Right, I have some other questions for you. Police questions.
Why not, Harife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole.
She settles back against the railing of her motor lorry. Behind her, mountains of memorabilia, photos, and knickknacks line the dashboard. What are you hauling?
Diamonds?
Diamonds, really?
Of course not. But wouldn't it be marvelous if I was?
Okay, but what are you really hauling?
Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine.
So you don't know what you're hauling in your own lorry?
I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean.
She says that as if something narcotic is the real reason.
What if the cargo is contraband?
Then it's contraband, Loman. What? Do you want to take an old woman in? Be my guest. Lock me away like Bad Hand Hermenegildo.
Bad Hand, Hermenegildos' bad hand, strangled 300 people. What can I say?
100 people.
Some people just really like strangling people.
Before I came, you seemed away.
She's just a distracted old woman. We should maybe let her get back to her things.
So he doesn't think she's a smuggler.
You hear that, Loman? I don't think your partner likes you spending too much time with me.
Should you drive a lorry if you get like that?
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm one of the best camioners around. I drive routes no one else will.
What routes?
Lomonosov's Land, Udashnaya Zemlya, the Western Plain.
She nods and closes her eyes again, letting her mind submerge.
A terrible cold comes over her, rattling her teeth as she stares inward.
The Transcatolia Magistral. You for 1A. Adestradas do Mirador. All the good ones. The deep trenches. Where the bluebirds fly.
She opens her eyes again and shudders. I'm something of an expert in blacking out myself. You should take better care of yourself.
You're right, Loman. I'm the one who should take my health more seriously. Thank you for looking out for me.
A correct appraisal. You're quite shabby.
Is that all you woke me up to say?
You seem like a woman who knows a thing or two about drugs.
What do I need drugs for, Loman? What I see, what I feel. The great adversary. No drugs can compare.
Where could I get a hands on an experience like that?
If you don't know,
She flicks her wrist in a gesture of casual dismissal.
Maybe if she thought you're corrupt.
What is it that you're holding exactly?
you're man, Loman. What of it?
Okay, let's put this out of the way. Or you smuggling drugs through Terminal B.
Maybe. Probably not. Makes no difference to me either way.
You saw it earlier. You don't know what cargo you're holding. Could it be drugs?
Just this month, I made half a dozen trips from Saramiris to Grat. In the U41A. What do you think they take from Saramiris to Grat, Loman?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
It's diamonds, Loman, obviously.
She grins.
Damn this. Make her answer.
If you had to guess, who do you think is smuggling drugs around here?
Easy. It's the skinny man who thinks he's a poet. Never trust a poet. Also, he's the only one I can see from here.
She squints across the square.
That's correct. There is no visibility of any of the others.
You're making fun of me right now. You better start complying.
I would never make fun of a real lawman, Herife.
Ma'am, you're not responsible for what the client puts in your lorry, as long as the seals are not opened. We officers know that.
He gives you a stern look.
Lay off her.
Okay, if you're not involved with the drug trafficking, then why are you still waiting here?
Where do you want me to go? This isn't so bad. I can listen to music, or the seagulls. Look at all the colors and the futures of this world. It's a good palate cleanser, this jamboree. Or I can just relax and let my mind carry me back where it will, to the Great Plains.
I think we're done here, no?
Thank you for now, Lee.
Yes, go. Enough jamboree. I need to get back to Mesky.
Her voice trails off. Ruins full of snow. No one lives here anymore. Three T's. How idiomatic. It says G-R-I-H.
Scab?
Asks a man with jolly eyes, tilting his head.
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time. What did he just call you? Oh no, not this again. You just got away from that fucking kid.
I'm not a scab, I'm a cop.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money.
He chuckles, then realizes.
Speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the Wild North? Come to see the strife?
I've come to Martinique investigating a murder.
Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder.
Maybe you want to help me solve it by telling me who did it.
Of course, Policia. It wasn't me. You can rule me out. Easier that way.
He didn't do it. It's the truth.
I'm looking for assistance with a dead body situation.
Body still hanging in the tree? Hey, that's a rough pickle. Can't help you with that, sorry. I'm not really an admirer of dead bodies. Might be someone else from the Union can render assistance.
Does this mean you can let me through the gate?
I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
If it's so simple, why did the scab leader warn you of the guards blocking the way?
That's simple. I just walk in.
Aye. Walk right past Measurehead and go in.
Past Measurehead.
Yeah, the 2.5 meter tall Semini supremacist there. Walk right past him,
Right.
then press the button to unlock the door,
Aha.
then go past him again,
Okay.
and you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
So you're saying it's actually quite difficult?
Don't worry, I'm sure it's not completely impossible. For example, you could best measure head in a physical confrontation, or you could convert to a Semini supremacist worldview. Or, maybe it actually is completely impossible.
Has anyone here ever bested him in a physical confrontation?
Not yet, no. He's incredibly strong.
Nothing a couple of solid hooks from Dexter and Sinister won't fix.
Dexter and Sinister. Has any of the scabs tried converting to his worldview?
Jean-Luc himself would say the philosophy has proven overly heroic for the scabs to convert to. Not enough intuition.
Got it. Another thing.
Sure.
What are these fucking options? I'm a bit short of money right now. Can you give me some of it?
Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out.
He flips the coin towards you. Hand-eye coordination, medium 10. Try to catch it.
The coin narrowly slips by your outstretched fingers and falls to the ground.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to throw it like that. It's a thing we harbor folk do, passing around cargo and such. Was not meant as provocation or ridicule.
The boyadero stares at you with respect, then gestures towards the trickles of blood adorning your clothes.
Say nothing. Pocket the coin.
Right, always glad to help out the RCM. We're on the same branch, you and I. Humans, I mean, not slithering scabs.
What's the strike about, anyway?
You know, serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
He's a chatty guy, wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and are on a better footing with the organization.
Nice talk. Gotta get moving. A notice. In case of a strike, press button behind guard. Hermetically sealed door, locked by electronic means. The Great River Shoal Industrial Harbor. One sec, getting more coffee. Okay, I'm back.
Your body betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Measurehead's baby. The young woman at the giant side agrees. Say nothing, size him up first.
Are you admiring my morphophysiology?
A ripple of his muscle passes underneath his skin. He lets you look.
It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Sandwich. You are not in danger, because you are not a threat to me.
Puff out your chest, still say nothing.
What is this androgynous display of sexual maturity?
He looks down at you, taking stock of your physique.
You hear your heart pumping, fast and irregular. Your joints ache and you feel old, but still alive, somehow.
Stop it! You are embarrassing yourself in front of this woman and your pedomorphic friend.
Pedomorphic, eh?
This display of weakness may appeal to older women with a stronger maternal instinct, but it is a liability here on Battlefield Martinez.
Jean-Luc, his body is betraying his degeneracy pretty hard. Maybe you can ask him to leave.
My body is unimportant. I'm with the police, and we need to get into the harbor.
That is precisely the negligence that has led you to succumb to Al Ghul.
His face distorts in disgust, as if he were smelling a dead rat.
You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick.
You're right, I'm an alcoholic, and I need that dead body to no longer be in the tree.
No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race is waning.
Does this remind you of someone? The guy down there?
That fat racist over there, point to the racist lorryman. You're just him after pumping some iron.
Look at my craniology. I am the pinnacle of my haplogroup. The pink blob is a bad example, even of yours. It saddens me. You
pauses
were once
melancholy
a
for a section.
noble and powerful race. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, race theory, and statecraft. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Quakers. But now your ascent to the genetic summit has halted. You are obsessed with sadness and with frivolous pop culture. You will be superseded. Isn't that right, babe?
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
You're right about all this. Now I need you to help me get the corpse down from the tree.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great world
Oh,
war.
really now?
Bring your troops to the Seminine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, we will build a museum for you. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art, and your microcephalic skull.
This is your chance. He's talking. Rip into him with a punch and catch him off guard. No, there's a peaceful solution. You could internalize Measurehead's race theory. He would take you as one of his own.
Wouldn't that mean I have to become a Semini supremacist myself?
Well, not as such. What you do with the mastery of advanced race theory is up to you. You could reject the findings, sure, or accept them and become an advanced racist.
Physical instrument, formidable 13. Knock him out.
How did this happen? Your little fist is in his giant hand, and he's squeezing it. It hurts.
You must be out of your mind, degenerate drunk. Say it. I am a degenerate alcoholic.
I'm a cop.
Your fist cracks in his hand like a ripe apple. Pain shoots up into your brain as he's twisting it more and more.
The words to the song have changed. Say, I am a violent drunk.
No, I won't fucking say anything.
Your hand twists in his grip and the pain blinds you. Still you press the words out of your swollen mouth.
Good. Now leave before you humiliate your homoerotic organization any further.
He does not so much as glance at the object.
Know anything about it?
Stop showing me your pathetic cup. I have no interest in it.
He had nothing to do with it. Does he strike you as the kind of man who puts mugs into trash?
What are those tattoos of yours supposed to mean?
Racists are generally not very good examples of their race.
He gestures towards the lorry man down the street.
I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my my skull and features. This should dispel any doubt.
True, that is a noble cranium, but you got a hard noggin yourself.
You sure I'm not craniometrically superior to you?
You exhibit forward projection of the jaw, indicative of schizophrenia and sexual
really now?
inaccountability. From a purely aesthetic standpoint, the dimple in your jaw makes you look like a baby. This is not craniometry, just an observation.
What else?
It is impossible to see any more of your bone structure. It is covered in the ravages of Al-Ghul. From what remain of your features, I can see fleshy lips, baldness of the head, and long arms relative to lower limbs. This leads me to conclude you are not a police officer. You are a common criminal, an offspring of murderers and sailors from Sur-la-Clé and Vesper, and possibly even the degenerate sheep herders of Ubi.
Interesting. So one of my ancestors were Sir Laclef and other Vesper.
Your racial heritage is uninteresting. It is the same as all Rivasholians. Your parents and their parents made the decision to reproduce while under the influence of Al-Ghul. That is the only reason you are here.
He's right there. It's almost impossible to get it on unless you're both drunk. It's too scary when people are sober.
Knock him out.
Just like that, instinct took over. A solid strike straight into his throat, into the cartilage. You could swear you felt the soft palate break. The man is reeling, gasping for air. Time stands still around you. In the distance, the sounds of the harbor are falling silent. He's open. Rip into him. Right hook. Escalate it. Get intimate with him. Bring the hurt closer.
Rip into him with the right hook.
Oh God, wrong move. Your head is in his hands, like a pair of forceps crushing you, and you can feel every jewel.
You know the words. I am a degenerate drunk.
Take the pain, goddammit. At least take that.
How did this happen? I was winning.
You were. But then you made a wrong move. And now your skull feels like it's about to crack.
Assault of a police officer. Help!
Even under the increased force on your skull, there is no pain. Just the sound of your own blood gushing in there, feeding your mind with oxygen.
It must be neurodegenerative. You never learn.
He lets go of your forehead and lets you slump to the ground. Try again. Punch his lights out with the right hook.
It has happened again. The Titan has your fist locked in his hand, and he's twisting it.
Another fit of criminal rage. Who are you, in your own words?
I don't remember, please. Measurehead's amazing.
You feel something in your chest, an unnatural pressure. It's spreading to your left arm, your jaw.
I'm sure it's just heartburn. Oh God.
No, it's many years of combined self-neglect and self-abuse.
Try to remain conscious.
All you feel is pain and weakness. You have to surrender now. We all do. It gets so dark. You don't even see her face. Like you always thought you would. You only see pain and fear. Cop suffers final heart attack. A detective lieutenant of the RCM passed away yesterday. His death, though abrupt, did not come as a surprise to those who knew him. He was the heaviest drinker I'd ever met. Captain Ptolemy Price, the deceased superior officer, commented, "That ain't easy on the ticker." He loved his liquor, sure, said Detective Chester McLean, friend and colleague. But I think before he ever had a heart attack, his heart was broken. According to an official statement given by the RCM, the officer was on the brink of solving a murder
On the brink,
case.
yes, indeed.
The small, the photo, and
If you want her attention, you may need...
Where? No, but this.
a strike. This,
He was the big.
in all likelihood, a strike.
He was the big. This.
Ah, for fuck's sake.
He was the big.
In all likelihood,
They're beautiful. Well, you.
the Republic of Mesk.
Why? Diamond. Of course. Whatever. I quit.
She said,
Oh.
yeah.
Then.
Yeah, I'm just
Bad
gonna have
hand.
through this.
Of course.
Since I did it
Whatever.
earlier.
I quit.
She says that as if some
Then.
bad hand, Hermenegilda,
Of.
the boy
Of.
in the background. You can,
So you have to understand.
so
You hear that alone?
he doesn't want your
Oh, the monos.
a terrible,
The Transcatholia Magistral. You're.
a correct.
Is that all you woke me up to say? Yes.
Those, I don't like that.
Then
Maybe if she thought,
you're mad. Maybe. Just this mouth. No.
damn this, make her answer.
Easy.
That's correct.
Time. Heaven.
Ma'am,
Lay off her.
Where do you want? Or.
I think we're done here, no?
Yes, go. Enough jumbo. I need to get back to Mesky.
A lorry stuck in.
Like hammering through all these conversations, you
We
see,
have a
you
right
definitely see
to
how fucking
work.
much combos there are in this game.
Oh, you here to fuck with we? Besides, right?
His manner of speaking is wooden. The tone of voice.
Maybe you. We have.
So do we, Scott.
I know. Wouldn't. But right to work.
We're pity.
Let us. We can't.
I have a...
You think they follow because I'm. We main gates, and I don't mean the strong in meth. Bad. I don't know how the Union has a. Why don't?
It would be better.
No. They will.
Scott?
Your hate. What did he just call you? Oh no, no.
I was. Imagine. Speaking of, what brings the. I don't believe it wasn't. I'm doing much better here. But he's still. I'm not really. I don't.
If it's so.
I. Yeah. Then.
Past
then
measure.
and you enter the arbor through the office. Don't. Or you. No.
Nothing a couple of.
Not yet. No.
Nothing a couple of.
Sure. Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder. Of course.
He didn't do it. It's.
Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out.
The coin,
Oh, was not meant.
the Boyadero still.
Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. Of course.
He didn't do it.
You.
He's a chatty guy.
Okay, so let's save the game here so we don't fuck up again. Measurehead, crush your soul.
Your body betrayed.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body.
Are you? It must be fight. What?
You hit.
Stop. This is the.
Jean-Luc. His body is betraying him.
You have. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Valru. Now,
Does this remind you?
look. You will.
It is, baby. Yeah. You know it.
Bring your. You want.
This is your job. No, there's a peaceful solution. You could internally. Well, not as such. What you do, he does not so.
Stop.
He had no. Does he strike you as the kind of man who puts muck? True. That is a noble crate.
It is this. Your racial heritage.
He's right there. It's almost impossible to get it on unless you're both drunk. It's too scary when people are sober. Just like that, instinct took over. The man is... he's open. Rip into him. Right hook.
Back up and
Escalated.
perform a 360
Get
degree
intimate with
flying spin kick.
Bring...
Get fucked.
The man lands with a dull thump, like a broken down puppet of muscles and sinew. For a moment, he still tries to keep his head up, dazed eyes looking at you with unimaginable surprise. To your left is the button.
Welcome to Revershow.
As you slam your fist on the button, the man collapses entirely, his head rolling to the side.
Looks like you're the new Measurehead now.
Her voice is surprisingly calm.
No one is the new Measurehead. Let's go before he gets up.
The lieutenant makes haste towards the door.
The man is still knocked out. He breathes slowly and steadily. It'll take a few moments for him to recover.
Yeah, well, that went a little bit better. The radio's emitting strange buzzing sounds.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, "Tokens unavailable due to strike. Use change."
Someone left the coffee machine on. A standard office file cabinet. The drawer seems to be locked.
On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
Let's see what's inside. He
Open the
thinks.
drawer.
The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized selection of brown folders.
Browse through the folders.
Hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muindi, Grad, and even Ilmara, and the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. Kuron, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock are listed among the many districts where the imports are being sold.
Anything interesting, browse them.
It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry.
Volition, medium 10. Force yourself to go through the folders.
Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is a little handwritten note stuck on the side of the drawer.
Look at the note.
It appears to be a to-do list written in large, uneven capital letters. Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everard's plants, sweep office floor, more banners. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled.
Turn to the lieutenant. Look, Kim. A to-do note with the list of errands for Everard.
Everard Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union. One of his aides must have left it. Nothing incriminating here.
The special borscht seems a bit odd in the list. What is so special about this borscht? Code for drugs? Booze? Blood?
Take another look at the note.
Remember, Leo, all items on the list
Close
have
the
been
drawer.
crossed. The drawer slides shut smoothly.
Every worker, a member of the board, is written at the top of the flyer.
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year.
I haven't paid the cafeteria manager for damages
We
yet,
should take care of that, then.
but I don't have the money.
Let's talk to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't be sleeping in the street. We'll figure something out.
This is a Dewey typewriter. The model name is on the back.
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. There is a white rectangle clearly visible on its back.
Look, Lieutenant. Point to the cloak. Someone left their cloak behind.
Yes, it was probably you. It does bear the RCM insignia, after all.
You think I should get it?
The service cloak issued to you by your station? Yes, I do.
Grab the cloak and leave.
As your fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels like the cloak wants to deliver a message of comfort through your fingertips. I will shield you from the elements and give my life for
Oh,
yours.
really now?
That's what the cloak is relaying.
That's one hell of a cloak. Collecting rainwater. Numerous empty bottles of Commodore Red and potent Pilsner. At least 3 packs worth of cigarette butts.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud. Listen, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself. Sit down and have a breather.
This is where Renee works. I'm going to look around, search the booth.
If you must. But please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot up here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a framed photograph on the table.
Take the picture.
It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man, René, is dressed in a Royal Carabinier uniform. The girl is young and very pretty. She is smiling playfully at the camera.
Why did you take that picture of René?
I'm going to ask about him.
You're really interested in that old soldier. Not sure I understand your fascination, but sure. As long as it doesn't take up a whole lot of time.
Have a seat, rest.
The chair is not as austere as the rest of the booth. A thin grey pillow is attached to the seat, secured to the stiles by black ribbons.
Search for a little something to help you out.
The drawers are empty, save for old timesheets and receipts. One small box, however, does hold some cheap painkillers. They are slightly out of date.
Kim, would you mind if I help myself to some meds?
I'm not here to tell you what to do, detective.
Take the painkillers.
You take the painkillers. They are yours now.
Get up.
You stand and exit the booth.
Leave. White pine trees are printed onto the screen covering. Looks like a forest under snow. A composite eye of halogen light watches you, emitting a low buzz.
A rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marche and Arrête are faded with use. It seems to control the large crane above. A container is attached to its hook block. Marche. On. Arrête. Off.
Press march.
With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. And, with a surprisingly quiet thunk, the crane places the container down.
I can't see how that was worth the wreckers. Except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
Lit. You see faded industrial letters on the platform. Qualsum.
Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
Lieutenant, I think there's something special about this container.
Is this like your thing with that wall again?
Maybe, I can't tell. I think we should investigate further.
You do? Because I don't.
What? Why not?
There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one?
Inspect the container. Maybe there's contraband in there.
There may very well be, but we are not here to look for that. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to get the body down from the tree.
Open the door.
You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanically locked. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions, with some puzzlement.
Knock on the door.
No reply.
Rhetoric, impossible. 18. Persuade the door to open. Fuck yeah.
Why are you even trying to open a door with
Because
rhetoric?
getting physical wasn't an option.
Because what wasn't an option?
Using my body over my wits.
Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective. You can do that after hours.
Nothing more to do here for now.
Jamais vu. Derealization. Jamais vu. The opposite of déjà vu. Not already seen, but never seen. Everything that should be familiar appears strange and new, like some half-forgotten day in your childhood. Only now. That's the feeling you've been having. And for who knows how long. You should go and ask Joyce Messier about this. What world are we in? This is a fundamental question.
Plus 1 XP for every orb clicked. All intelligence learning caps raised by 1. The shipyard ahead is oddly quiet. The great machine is sleeping. A pile of cargo belts used for heavy lifting. One says vermilion. Wonder if we can use like the bolt cutters or something there. Sure, hold it down. Plus 1 psyche, minus 1 health. Fallen Ultra Series gloves. Half-light, unfiltered contact. The banner sags under the weight of the rain and snow. White waves on red.
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container, put the logos on.
Okay.
The lyrics to this container song are being made up as he goes along. The accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi, from the vanishing peninsula of Ubisunt on Muindi.
Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, container, now belongs to Everard.
The tiny man is so engaged in his work, he doesn't notice you. Hi.
Everard, 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 he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there.
His
How
mind.
can I help you, mister? I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
A shadow passes over his kind face. What is it with you people in scabs?
I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat.
He doesn't seem to be waiting for your answer.
Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister.
You're Ubi, right?
Oh yes, born and raised in Arish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to the new world. I was about 10 then, too old to lose my accent then. People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know there was never any of that where I come from. No, sir. Those are just nasty rumors.
So what is that, like Welsh?
Thank you for clarifying that,
So
sir.
Ubi is this game's Welsh. I see. What are you doing with the containers?
Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
Logic, medium 11. What's going on here? Look at the mountains of containers rising behind him.
The containers in the yard are green in Wild Pine's livery, and the mountains rising behind Leo is all red in Union colors. It's like some red infection was spreading outwards from the container yard's core.
This looks like a massive redecorating operation, Kim.
Yes, they are hiding it from the inside. All the red containers have the Debarders Union logo on them.
Leo, has anyone told you why you need to change the covers?
No, not really. Miss Everett doesn't tell me all the big things. Says I go and tell them to everyone.
Thanks, Leo. You've been very helpful.
Oh, no trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all.
Where is everyone? The harbor is empty.
Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in.
He leans in with a confidential look.
We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, where he always is. And Jean-Luc is guarding the gate. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so.
He stops, but seems eager to tell you more. What kind of trouble did this Titus and his friends get into?
Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business.
He smiles and leans closer.
Him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling them to take some time off.
Well, what did they actually do?
I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. Well, that's just how boys are, you know. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school.
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this on the hearties.
He looks to you for assistance.
Look at him. It's not going to be anything useful anyway. Don't fight it. Better to go with the flow.
Too rowdy. Leo, what kind of fight did they get into? Did they kill a mercenary?
Too late. Leo's mouth is still moving, and the words are spewing forth. Words, words, and look, even more words. This guy could go on till the end of days. Now he's talking about some drunk sawmill owner who... No, he already switched to a prized fishing rod he apparently owned at some point. You know what? Just cut in there with your questions.
Are you the Leo who wrote the note to make more banners?
Oh, yes, yes. I leave all kinds of notes for myself. That old head of mine ain't so good at keeping things in no more. I almost forgot about the borscht.
What was that about the borscht?
Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every day since the strike started.
The little guy chuckles merrily.
It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. I feel like I could take on Mr. Renadan's boar dogs every time the lunch is done.
Power borscht, huh? Never heard of a borscht that turns little guys into dogfighters. Alcohol, however.
What do you mean by taking this soup to the men? Is it for striking?
Yes, yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes you all warm inside. They brew it in the whirling in rags.
Hold up. Who makes it at the whirling?
Oh, the whirling's cook. He makes it. Them is always talking with Mr. Manana in that weird language and laughing together. He doesn't speak what we speak. He's from Grad.
Looks like the borscht is spiked. I'm gonna look into it.
Oh, sure, mister. Sure. You do that. Yes, sir.
What's in the container over there? Point to the container suspended from the crane arm.
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up.
Told you.
I'm looking for the leader of the dock workers union.
Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this here neighborhood.
He coughs, then continues immediately.
Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinize what it is today. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school we did when we were boys.
Is now Leo. I just want to know, where can I find this man?
Oh, Mr. Everett is usually in his office, of course. But he already left for the day. He always leaves around 10 p.m.
Okay, I'm off.
Bye-bye now.
He returns to his work. Look, something forgotten on the coffee table.
A large table with 2 huge vacuum-insulated thermal coffee dispensers. Someone has forgotten a small plastic card next to the stacks of cups.
Pick up the card.
You snatch up the red plastic card. It features a black contour of a crane lifting a container. The name Etienne Ogart is written in the middle. Below it, in smaller text, member of the board. It comes with a magnetic strip meant to open electronic doors.
A stair made of pellets leading up. A taxidermy fish that tells time. The desk has been cleaned out for the night. Industrial-sized thermos smells like burnt coffee. The speaker tower is silent. There is no work to organize in the yard below.
You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, you attempt to your left. The lieutenant considers your...
So where's the key card I got them? Qualzon means whale fjord in Arden.
The already familiar cold touch of plastic welcomes you as you pick up the handset.
Cost 0.10. Insert 10 cents.
The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move.
That's your muscle memory. Dial a random number.
It's unclear whether you actually have muscle memory. Right now, your finger is just drawing vaguely occult patterns in the air.
Useful patterns.
Undoubtedly, no.
I might try this again later.
Sure, why not? Muscle memory is a tricky thing. Nothing tricky about that.
Whoops. Oh, sorry. Beer pack. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Hello again, officer. How are things?
It's so late. You're still here.
I'm a Nighthawk. What can I say?
She flashes a smile.
She's still here because you're still here.
You don't have to stay here because of us.
I like the city at night, don't you?
I have to run. A man is sleeping at a table, wearing mud-caked boots and rolled down overalls. The back of his shirt reads Wild Pines, encircled by a logo with a tree.
On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine.
Grab the pills.
The man does not mind. You probably need them more than he does.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom left corner of the screen above your character portrait. Use magnesium to heal your morale if you have morale damage.
Physical instrument, challenging 12. Wake him up.
There is only one way to wake this bone idol from his slumber. Roar like a hurricane. Rip the buildings from the earth.
Wake up! This is an order. I am the law.
Why the yelling, man?
The 30-something man slowly lifts his head and gives you a pensive look.
Looks like a Sow descendant. A lot of Sow dock workers around.
I need you to answer some questions right now.
Really? You woke me up for that? Fine. What is it, officer?
Tell me about Wild Pines. Point to the writing on his overall.
That's the name of my employer. I work in logistics.
He doesn't sound too enthusiastic about this.
How's that going?
How's it going?
The dock worker lets out a big yawn, then stares at the cafeteria's terrace doors, some fingerprints glistening on the glass.
Haven't you noticed what's going on outside?
Of course, it's a total madhouse.
Good. Then you understand the gist of it. We would all be better off without the employers and their employment. For one, I can get some goddamn shut-eye. Right to sleep, I say.
Why are you sleeping here while the others are out striking?
Nate got it. Measurehead's got it.
Measurehead's
He's
knocked the fuck
guarding
out.
the gate. I'm just getting some sleep. Or was.
The way he says Measurehead implies ultimate trust in this head reckoner's physical prowess.
Who's behind organizing the strike?
We are. The workers. The union. We know what we need. What's right for us.
You mean there's no leader?
Okay. I guess there's also Everard. He's in charge of the union. He's smart. Knows how to negotiate. He's got our back.
What about the dead body in the jar?
Yeah. What about it?
You seem cool with it. Do you have many of those hanging from the trees here?
You know, people die here every day. Someone's found in a ditch, another one falls in a manhole, a third one gets eaten by stray dogs.
Here's Spuds.
If someone has decided to die on top of a tree, then how is it my concern?
Someone has to look into it. Looks like I'm that someone. Tell me what you know.
I can tell you this. Trouble's ahead.
You have a pretty solid feeling that the man's not just mouthing off. He's strong, but even he has reasons to be cautious here.
The trouble's already here. Or how else would you call a dead man hanging from a tree?
They say your guy was a killer. Your tree man. He has friends, same as him, killers. There's only one thing they know well. How to wreak havoc.
You're saying things might get violent around here.
You heard what I said. Draw your own conclusions. That's all I know. And I prefer to keep it this way.
The lieutenant gives you a little nod, then makes a note in his blue notebook. So Union people think he was a killer, he thinks. Even sleepy hair. This doesn't help a lot, but it's something. Good work, detective.
Yours, point at the bottle and the spilled rum.
Indeed. Help yourself to some. Wait. No. Oh, it's empty. Sorry about that.
Alright, I'll let you sleep.
The dock worker doesn't answer. His head is already back down on the table, in sweet sleep.
Fucking wish I could fall asleep like that. The dishes are drying. The smell of chemicals and pine trees.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue.
I wonder where this door leads.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads?
It's part of the whirling rags. There's something about this place that makes me want to know.
Eccentric. But okay, I suppose we could look into it. As a side investigation.
Yes, I mean inside investigation.
Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
Touch the door.
The cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door is flush with its frame on every side.
Try to push on the door.
The door does not budge. You should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know your vast, oceanic soul.
My soul's cubic content is obscured by the hangover.
Of course, at this point, precise measurements of your soul can only be performed from the outside. It needs to be heard through a PA system by other people, whether they like it or not. Ram it up their ears, says your adrenaline gland. Violently express yourself.
What should I sing when it comes to...
You have not yet stumbled on the right lamentation, but it's out there. It'll come to you. You will wreak havoc with it. Don't worry.
I was thinking maybe I could sing something happy, get the people going.
No. Don't sing the happy song. It's stupid. Sing the sad song. It's profound. You have to find something tragic to sing first, though.
Can I help you?
Here's your trash container key.
Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for.
Found the victim's clothes.
How strange. I certainly didn't put them there.
Did someone on your staff have put them there?
Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my staff. None of us would tamper with the crime scene.
Where's the keys to the trash container?
The trash collection service? CS Municipal. I don't see why they would put anything in the trash, though.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threats that solves itself down the road.
On Clinton Street, near the Boogie Street Diamond, a small truck rattles down an alleyway. It stops by a rusted trash container. Two men, their faces rough and swollen, jump out. They look at the container, despondently. CSM is written on their backs.
Thank you anyway.
Thanks, let's talk about something else.
Yes?
So about the money, oh.
Yes. Have you got it?
I was wondering if we could come to some sort of arrangement for tonight.
Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me?
Kim is about to say something. Let him.
I understand your predicament as the manager. However,
He adjusts his glasses.
I feel I must remind you that we are here to conduct an important investigation that also affects your business.
Forgive me for saying this, but your colleague seems more committed to drinking, and...
He stops mid-sentence.
I mean no offense. It's really nothing personal. I just have to protect the interests of this establishment.
Hold on, I still have my key, you know.
Good luck trying to use it.
He taps his foot against a metal box installed in the back of the counter.
All the locks have an electronic component. They have to be unlocked down here with a master key before your guest key will open the lock.
This conversation isn't going anywhere, is it?
Not until you bring me the money.
Okay. I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here.
I really didn't want to resort to this. The man is thinking.
Oh, Lieutenant, we're done here.
Garth, I saw another thing in the whirling.
Another thing. Great. I love those.
I saw a sign that said the mess hall is reserved for the Union.
Yes, not the whole damn Union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction.
He tosses his head in disdain.
They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info.
He gives you a meaningful nod. How do we find them?
We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even men on strike.
You glance at the clock on the wall behind the manager. Huh.
It's after 1600. The sign said reserved starting 1600. Why isn't anyone in the mess hall?
Good question.
He turns to the cafeteria manager.
They're probably getting drunk or protesting something somewhere. Or laying low after the, lynching.
Why's that?
They probably fucking killed that guy or something, and that's why.
I have a feeling we'll make their acquaintance sooner or later.
There's a mysterious blue steel door in the back of the kitchen.
Oh yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door.
Do you know what's behind it? Do you have...
No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just a frit warehouse, probably. Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust.
He runs his finger across the counter to check for dirt.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
I think you'd like to know what's back there.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door in one of the cafeterias I manage. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals. And I haven't found a key, so good luck with that.
Something else I wanted to ask.
Yes?
By the way, I'm going to sing karaoke here.
Absolutely out of the question.
You wait and see, cafeteria manager. Absolutely in the question. First we find a sad banger. Then we sing this place to shit.
Goodbye.
You see a heavy still. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a rate.
I have something here we could sell. Look in the back, in the suspect transport enclosure.
Transport enclosure. Regular people just call it the cage.
Look in the suspect transport enclosure.
The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable. 4 shiny hubcaps are stacked against the seat. Their silver edges sparkle in the dark.
I confiscated these 4 a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal.
What do you mean you confiscated them?
A couple of weeks ago, I stopped a young man for going slower than the speed of traffic. Turns out he was some coalition official's son and high.
So you took his spinners?
Mm-hmm. I took them and arrested him for driving under the influence.
Look at the spinners, I get it. I would have confiscated them. I would have confiscated them too. They're mesmerizing.
That they are. I was going to take them into evidence, but they weren't necessary for conviction. He never asked for them back.
Did you want to put these spinners on your machine? Point at the kinema.
No, that would be silly.
Yes,
I don't know why I kept them. It doesn't matter. I couldn't put them on this MC anyway. A cup with spinners. That would be outrageous.
Yes, outrageously cool.
He flashes a smile, barely visible in the dark.
I'm sorry you have to sell them because of me.
As I said, they are useless anyway. I should have remembered I have these earlier.
But thank you.
Thanks, I appreciate your help. Take the spinners.
The lieutenant nods as you take the spinners. Mazovian Socio-Economics. 0.000% of communism has been built. Evil child-murdering billionaires still rule the world with a shit-eating grin. All he has managed to do is make himself sad. He is starting to suspect Krasmezov fucked him over, personally, with his socio-economic theory. It has, however, made him into a very smart boy with something like a university degree in truth. Instead of building communism, he now builds a precise model of this grotesque, duplicitous world.
Left-wing dialogue options give +4 XP, -1 visual calculus, -1 authority. Okay, so I better use this and do as much left-wing dialogue as I can then. Or uncommunist myself by using a skill point, I guess. Where is the pawn shop over here? Oh. Guessing it might be locked. Or closed. No. He works 24/7, I guess.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Something I'd like to sell.
Yes, we'd like to sell these hubcaps.
The lieutenant steps in and hands him the spinners.
Roy takes the hubcaps from the lieutenant and inspects them. The spinners appear iridescent in the dancing light of his pawn shop.
Yes, these are very, very good. Did you defraud some foreign prince for them? Jump-a-mesk banger? No matter. I'll give you 200 real.
No one was defrauded or jumped, I assure you.
The lieutenant explains as the pawnbroker opens the registers and counts the cash.
Of course. I meant no offense. 200 real for you, officer. Delightful doing business with you. Do come again.
Thank you.
He takes the cash and turns to you.
Here's the 130 real you need for your bill. Do not waste it.
The rest goes in his pocket.
The rest is for him, to compensate for the pain of being separated from his radiant spinners.
Anything else you're thinking of selling? Anything else you're thinking of selling?
I don't have anything to sell at the moment.
Another time, perhaps.
I'd like to buy back the commemorative pin I sold.
Yes. Fortunately, I still have it. 330 and it's yours.
By the pit.
Here you go, officer. Anything else I can do for you today?
Well, so much one problem at least.
can I help you?
So about the money I owe.
Yes, have you got it?
How much do I owe again?
A lot. A lot. For the room, drinks, and broken window, 130 real.
I have your money.
Well?
Here it is. Sorry for the trouble.
Great. Thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in advance starting tomorrow. The electronic lock to your room has been disabled till 9 p.m. tomorrow. Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real per night.
20 per night?
I'll take a room here too.
Of course.
Fucking
Always
outrageous.
happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you?
Goodbye.
The door is closed.
Try down.
This door can only be opened with a key or from the inside.
Knock.
There is no answer. A tremendous loneliness comes over you. Everybody in the world is doing something without you.
Beauty, don't abandon me in all this ugliness.
The door does not care.
Knock again.
Still no answer.
Knock again, much harder.
Still, the lieutenant gives you a quick glance. You should punch a fucking hole in it.
Suppress the urge.
The murmur in your ears recedes slowly.
Leave. Easy there. Easy does it.
You should pick that fat, juicy cigarette butt from the tray, light it up, and smoke the living shit out of it.
The what now?
The living shit. Your Mesolimbic reward pathway does not mince words. It once smokes.
Am I a smoker?
Who knows what you are? A monster, a murderer, the gnome of Jeroma? You feel like a smoker, especially when you look at that juicy, succulent, seductive cigarette stub, still smoldering deliciously.
But you broke it at the filter. I can't smoke that.
How very astute of you. This renders it ineffectual. You should look for a whole cigarette, or better yet, an entire pack. Strike that. A carton. Make sure they're all healthy and able-bodied. Then smoke them all. Or you could not do that. No one is making you.
Yes, I should do that.
Good. They'll make you stronger and better. You're too old to be cool now. But find cigarettes, smoke them, blam. Instantly a cool renegade man. A mystical red dragon with smoke rising from his nostril. Plus, smoking then gives massive bonuses.
Okay then.
This is the door to the room you redecorated.
Good night, Lieutenant.
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the balcony.
Alright, let's go.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum.
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically.
He lights a cigarette. I didn't know you smoked, Kim.
I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
I think I might want to pick up smoking. Do you have any more cigarettes?
I apologize, but I only brought one with me. I have exactly one cigarette every night while going over my notes.
How did you get so cool, Kim?
You mean this? This isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will, and unhealthy.
He flicks the ash.
Keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself takes a lot of focus. It would be easier to simply quit.
Right then, the debrief.
Yes. It's been a long and eventful day.
How do you think today went?
Well, we inspected the victim's body, so that's good. It was not easily approachable in that state, but we did it. Our inspection could have been more thorough, as it always can, but we have some leads we can follow up on. The body is still hanging from that tree, which is unfortunate. And there's still much to do at the crime scene.
It's all part of the plan, starting from the outside and working back towards the scene of the murder.
It's not my job to evaluate your methodology, officer. I'm just going through the facts. As for the interviews, we didn't get to meet Evrard Claire, but we did get into the harbor. It'll be easier to reach him tomorrow. We tried to interview the Wild Band's rep, but she asked us to do something for her first. Fine, so be it. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us.
He pursues his lips.
If Kim is emphasizing something this much, it really must be important.
Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
I have a really good theory about why you're running so fast, son. Just you wait until we get up tomorrow.
I don't like to waste time, you know. My mind moves fast, the rest has to try to keep up.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age, and in those hills.
He nods thoughtfully, tapping his fingers on his cigarette.
Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange.
He looks at your snakeskin shoes and smiles suddenly.
Thank you for the compliment. We could manage it even in wooden clogs. There are uncanny running reservoirs in this body. God knows why.
So what are our powers exactly, the RCM?
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule.
1,000, why not more?
The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Revachol.
Wouldn't that be an easy power to abuse?
Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. It undermines trust in the RCM.
Okay, what else?
We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station call slip. It prevents confusion and overcrowding.
Wait, how can you be sure the arrestee will show up?
You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up.
I see. And if someone resists?
As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power.
Wait, so if I kill someone while on duty?
You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best.
What happens to the people we convict?
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Couron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them.
And who makes all these rules?
The coalition government, and the moral intern more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less.
His gaze is absently fixed on a window below the adjustment door.
Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM.
So let's say it was the citizens of Revachol.
Be sentimental if you like. Either way, the moral intern leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away if we misuse it.
Or if they think you do.
The moral intern, what is it?
The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed.
If I didn't know, how would you describe them?
They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world.
What do they believe in?
What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats.
Those others say they continue the humanist project set forth by Dolores Day.
What is their symbol?
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Something kind and usual. Something almost self-explanatory. Something even a little feminine, but in a strict manner.
Who was Dolores Day?
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me.
For you, she is something painful, though it's hard to say why.
What do you think of them?
The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen.
I have an opinion on the moral intern.
Do you?
The lieutenant arches his brow, then pulls on his cigarette, its slim white thing in his fingers. We are stooges of the world's biggest bourgeois organization, protecting bourgeois rights.
No. We are stooges of the world's biggest bourgeois organization, protecting the people of Revachol. That's the hand we were dealt. Without the MI, we would be common vigilantes.
Maybe we should make our own law.
Spoken like a revolutionary, not a cop. But hypothetical aside, in Martinez we already are vigilantes. At least the Union thinks so. I expect our job here to prove quite challenging.
He looks at the roundabout.
The lights of the orphan district are reflected in his glasses, the red and golden orbs of the motorway sliding like pearls on a string, from east to west, as Revachol commutes back to the suburbs. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Monday is over.
Say nothing, just look into the night.
The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next drag. This soldier is the highlight of the day for me, he thinks. This little stick right here.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, you know. It's different inland, in Jamrock and the GRIH.
Why are they like this?
It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the Union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. This place has fallen between the cracks, the jurisdictions of our two precincts.
And in Jamrock and the GRIH?
We run this city. West of the river is RCM land.
He looks at the dark silhouette of the equestrian monument cutting into the night sky.
It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works. Our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate.
I hope our investigation will help improve the situation here. At least do some good.
Me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes.
Thank you for this. Leave.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
Yeah, never mind. The smell of sea makes you dizzy.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 9 p.m.
Crawl in.
The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes.
I mean, they could have cleaned up the room
And
since I
then
paid.
sleep. And then sleep doesn't come.
Why?
Maybe it's the bed's fault.
Roll over to the other side.
It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it?
Who killed him? How? Who?
Something to do with... What was it that the lieutenant said? Union? And it's gone again. Your thoughts lost between the slowing brain waves.
No more thoughts. Fall asleep now.
Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep, and images start forming.
Oh, really? We're even gonna dream about the case, you see.
Do you remember the scent of your childhood?
I was born in a hospital where people usually go to die.
You're not kidding anyone, Harry. You don't remember shit.
Harry, eh?
Do you remember your wife's hand on your face?
Tell me, what is this? I'm not answering before you tell me who you are.
You know who I am. I'm the bad day. The one where you ask her, and then later in the streets, wandering. It's the worst day of all time, Harry dear. And it's coming. She will hear about it on the phone. Reality will turn into a grotesque nightmare. This will be the last thing you did to her. Tell me, do you remember the love of your life?
I left.
Oh no, Funky baby, you stayed. It was the rest of it that left. Or you just stood there, with one hand on the bottle and the other on your dick, watching it go. Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours?
I can get it all back.
No, it's gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. You failed. You failed me. You failed Elysium.
What is Elysium?
Everything. The Pale and the Islas. On the surface. The outer magnetosphere. Burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history. You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people. And you failed every single one of them. You really fucked up.
I can come back from this.
You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours. Bumping into things and acting like a clown. Who are you kidding?
I'm trying to solve this case.
You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin, sleep-like state. More glass than velvet. Grinding in your head.
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover.
God, there's another type.
Oh yes, party boy, and it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too, so soon already. The silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork, barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on, Harry. Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Time to go to work in the shit factory, eh?
Good going, buddy.
Is that how it goes? Is that how it's going to be when I close my eyes?
Yes. Wait till you see the one with the chick in it. It's gonna be a good one. You feel even worse this morning than you did last night.
What the hell is going on with me?
You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think.
Why is this happening?
It's just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more. Don't do that. Stay strong. The hangover will wear off. You don't need to keep doing this to yourself.
No, I can take this. I'm not going to go look for speed.
Are you sure? Ready to live as this pathetic shell of yourself for days? Basically, a week. Let's be honest, 2 weeks. Maybe 3. You won't make it. Half the town will be dead by then. You will be fired.
That's a lie. I can do this without the speed. Half the town won't be dead.
Suit yourself, slow, sad shell man. See how you do without your spark. The door is closed. Still, you should punch a fucking hole in it.
Punch the door.
You slam your fist into the vinyl. It does not produce a hole. The door sits sturdily in the frame, and your fist hurts. This was all a very good, normal thing to do. Not to mention, great exercise.
Morning.
It gives you a quick note.
Looks like we can get to work at once. The Union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them.
Are these the men Garth told us about yesterday?
I completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said. One loose thread less to worry about. And one big problem to replace it.
Let's roll.
One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
But aren't you curious to know what they have to say about the murder?
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me.
Close the woodlock on Wednesday. So can I see what the fuck day it is then? Elysium officer profile. Superstar Cop 2. Apocalypse Cop 0. Communist 5. Why am I fascist 3? What the hell? Okay.
An intricate web of blue lines, the pattern still. The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
The lieutenant leads closer to read a crumpled note over your shoulder.
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active.
Read a note.
Someone has scribbled, S, I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Suliswaf.
I wonder who wrote that note.
Looks like someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here.
Maybe they had to leave in a hurry.
That's a plausible hypothesis.
It's the illiterate ginger kid.
Really? You don't have a single guess?
Oh, you mean Kuno?
Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on the filament memory. Even if he doesn't know what to do with it, he'd probably try to pawn it for speed, based on our encounter.
Do you have any idea where the frozen ice cream maker could be?
I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge.
Didn't you see one right next to the breaker box?
Put the note away.
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover.
Why antlers?
Because white antlers are one of the symbols of communism. They represent a society in accord with the natural world and, at the same time, above it. A shameful way to treat a former king. Even one as underwhelming as Friesel.
Why Friesel?
Because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see.
Flip through the pages, see what catches your eye.
To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white. After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections. International developments, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note.
Read the editor's note.
Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, Du cristal a la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turn to smoke under communism. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going a la fumée. Unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel, La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers. Only 4 issues in, and it sounds like they've already alienated their readership.
Good job.
So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
Whisper. Kim, I think this is a communist magazine.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. They're probably bankrolling the thing.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
I want to catch up on the international developments.
This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations and the Free State of Semenine. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border, something about bear wrestling in Samara, book riots in Yugograd. Face it, you really aren't interested in foreign affairs. You're not even sure where most of these countries are. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
What is Kunst und Kultur?
It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst und Kultur must mean arts and culture. Why they decided to title this one section in Volda is beyond you. It evokes a sense of recognition and fellowship among those privileged enough to understand. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist spotlight featuring a local artist identified only as CS. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tourney, a critical Mazovian perspective. The Tip Top Tourney is an inter-Isolari racing series, mostly known for its high speeds, ludicrous sponsorship deals, and high death toll. In Revachol, it's held quadrennially on the prestigious Zero Carousel racing circuit.
Read the profile of CS.
This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A, made all the briefer by the subject's evident hostility to her interviewer.
Alright, let's see what these communists have to say about Tip Top.
You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season, maybe sprinkled with some nice anecdotes about a few of the more colorful drivers. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip Top Tourney.
Wait, what's wrong with Tip Top?
Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships. And then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes. So, all of it, basically.
Hang on, who wrote this stuff?
Oddly enough, this article has 2 bylines. Nasdeb Encolada Bernal and Exilus Buka. There's no way those are real names.
Wait, why aren't they real names?
Have you ever met anyone named Exilus? Come on, they're plainly pseudonyms.
What's wrong with a good motor crash? They're just keeping it interesting.
And that precisely is what's problematic about it. Were it not for the promise of random, spectacular violence, audiences would quickly lose interest. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real racers that you're really watching for.
Wow, you're right. I really am just in it for the violence.
You see, one cannot avoid the conclusion that Tip Top Tourney is simply the apotheosis of spectacular entertainment under capitalism.
Kim, did you know Tip Top Tourney is actually an orgiastic ritual of capitalistic destruction? I had no idea.
I can safely say the thought had never crossed my mind, Detective.
The lieutenant furrows his brow. I wonder what else is really just a metaphor for life under capitalism.
I'm sure most things are, if the young men who wrote this article are to be believed. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor, much less a motor race. I'd take whatever they write with a large grain of salt.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds
Let's see
before
what they
you.
mean by local concerns.
Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dock workers' strike. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. First we take Martinez, then we take La Delta. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Cape Side apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent.
Charging rent just live somewhere is pretty outrageous.
The writer G. Martin remarks dryly that capitalists love wealth redistribution, so long as it's only redistributed upward. It's true, the rentiers have been bleeding you dry. You really ought to find your own place one of these days. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The
Put the
table
magazine
of
away.
contents.
Just a moment.
The old woman turns back to the cafeteria manager.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
The cafeteria manager appears genuinely apologetic.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway. I'm glad to see you again, dear.
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't mean to eavesdrop on your conversation. Tell me how I might make it up to you.
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working. The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
Why did you need to use the phone anyway?
To let the young woman who's house sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
She looks down.
A little missing persons puzzle might just be the thing to take your mind off the hangover.
Okay, I'll bite. Has your husband gone missing before?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully.
A cold breeze hisses through dense thickets of reeds. Something sweet in it, somnolent. A damp chill goes down your spine. When you look around, you're still in the whirling in rags.
You have more important things to worry about.
What is this expedition your husband was on?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the waterlock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday.
She sighs.
What could be keeping them?
The waterlock, that was broken. Could this be it?
The waterlock to the other side of the coast is broken. They're probably just stuck over there.
Oh my. What happened to the waterlock?
I really don't know.
Well, whatever the cause, I'm thankful. To both of you. You've spared me another sleepless night.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband.
Yes, some left-field scientific research is exactly what you need right now. Funk up that vanilla murder investigation.
Yes, indeed. Funk it up.
And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the waterlock's been repaired. And it's cold out there.
If I see him, I'll let him know you're here. When or if I get there.
Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
Tell me more about Morel, Luke's character, your relationship.
Oh dear. I'm not sure where to begin.
What does your husband look like?
Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle.
You can't go around Revachol feeling grown men's hands. If you want to find her husband, you'll need more concrete information.
Let's try again. If I were trying to meet him on the street, what would I look for?
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame. And he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, you know, just in case.
How long have you been married?
We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow.
How did the two of you meet?
By a dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident. And he just divorced. We hit it off and, well, here we are.
She smiles wistfully.
She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later.
I think I have all the information I need. Let's move on.
I hope I've been useful.
Tell me more about this rare insect your husband is looking for.
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating. But I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
You're right, I don't have the time for insect facts right now. Let's talk about something else.
Of course, dear.
About your pin.
I hope you were able to pawn that old trinket.
I bought it back. I know it means a lot to you. You should have it. Give her the pin.
Oh, thank you, dear. I confess I am glad to see it again. Very honorable of you, officer.
Even the lieutenant seems happy with this turn of events.
Now, what else, sweetie?
Goodest of the good cops. I see. That's all for now, man.
So we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your Copo type.
Wait, there's a Copo type?
Yes. Guess what's yours?
Some kind of weapon cop.
No, you're the sorry cop. The cop who's sorriest. Let's make it official then, shall we?
What about the other Copo types?
Oh, you know. Apocalypse, Superstellar, the Advanced Interesting Cop, Liquid Shadow Cop. But you're too sorry to say those things. So, here we go?
Won't the other Copo types be jealous?
What? Jealous of the sorry cop? I think they'll be fine. Don't worry. They'll be super fine. It'll be totally okay. You can dual Copo type from sorry to anything.
Fucking, they should be sorry.
Yes. Impotent rage and lamentation. Let's wrap it up?
You know, actually, I'm not sorry. I changed my mind.
No, you don't. Come on. You'll be back to saying sorry in 2 minutes. Stop wasting time and begin the repentance.
I'm sorry, Opted.
Of course you are. It's okay. See if you can get something out of this, like info. Or maybe every time you say you're sorry, you get $1 million. That won't happen.
Let me handle this.
The woman says to the crowd in the mess hall before turning to you.
You seem a little different today. Less hospitable.
You are far from home, Lieutenant. This isn't a district known for its love of self-proclaimed militiamen.
Enough, let's talk seriously.
Not a muscle moves in her face, but her eyes trace yours, stern and perceptive.
You are looking for Titus Hardy, who you think has information on a murder the RCM is investigating. We want to interview him.
She points to the man standing in the middle of the room.
That's Titus. Talk to him, but know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming, nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her.
What's your role in all this?
Obviously, I'm a lawyer. A legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union.
She crosses
I
her
would
arms.
urge you to consider what you say to my clients.
Why are you so aggressive?
Aggressive? You make your living enforcing violence. These people are just dock workers.
Just dock workers? Do dock workers spy on the police? We let you off easy, miss. Don't think it will happen again.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
The tall, broad-shouldered man takes a sip of his beer.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
I like that. Good start. Let's take it one step further. Armed uprising. What are the union plans?
Look, a comedian. Do your job, ask your questions, then get out of Martinez.
Strange. It's as if people don't believe a cop could be a socialist revolutionary.
What if I want to talk to you, not Titus?
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one.
What are you going to do to me? The lieutenant is not satisfied with the approach.
What are we going to do to you?
She starts laughing. It's a cold laughter, devoid of joy.
The union isn't going to do anything to you. It is not a crime syndicate. It is a labor organization.
Goddamn right it is.
A gruff hum from the table.
If anything, it is the RCM who do things to people. But we digress.
I should talk to Titus then. The bowl there spit in it, reeking of tobacco. Photos of men in overalls, toting guns and Union placards. You see hawthorn bushes outside.
This is where you say your bid.
A broad-shouldered man points at you with a beer can.
Detective.
The lieutenant acknowledges you with a sharp note. He's leaving it to you. We need to talk about the man hanged out back.
Oh, this is about him.
He looks around.
A real looker, that one.
You're sure taking your time, waiting for him to get ripe and pretty for you, huh?
Oh, he was a real pretty boy by now. Real hot stuff. Letting out that pretty boy smell.
Time to go to work in the shit factory!
Easy, boys. These janitors have a hell of a job cut out for them. I mean, I wouldn't go in there for $1 million.
He slaps his forehead.
You might want to start asking your questions now.
Scan
It's
the
not
room.
going to get better than this.
No. I see here. You got business with my boys. You got business with me.
He understood what you were doing, taking inventory of them.
Yeah! You fuck with the Hardy boys, you fuck with Titus Hardy!
Shouts the scrawny rat-faced man, 2 teeth missing in the front.
Relax, Dennis. No one is fucking you yet.
Says the 40-something man from the corner with the plectrum hanging from his neck.
Yeah, Dennis, calm down. No one's fucking you, you stupid fuck.
A blonde man in his 30s agrees.
Let Dennis enjoy his fucking, man. We don't mind.
You notice gang tattoos. The man must be either Mesk or Sarah Mirisian.
Yeah. You're not even being fucked, Dennis.
The fat guy in the middle lets out a little chuckle.
Easy, fellas. We got company. Let's see what brings the cop around.
The man hanged in the backyards. Did you do it?
The pretty boy. You guys really love talking about that pretty boy.
He takes a sip from his can.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Why is there a container belt around the man's neck?
Container belt? Like we use in the harbor?
Yes, why?
Because we took it from the harbor where we work. Then we went out back and used it to hang him.
As he speaks, his fists contract, going through the pulling motion again, savoring it.
We did this together, all of us, until he was dead. That's why there's a container belt around his neck.
Aha, so you just confessed to murder?
Goddamn right.
No. These 7 honest men have equally come forth. They told you what happened so that you don't waste any more of your time.
All 7 together. They're diluting responsibility. It's an anti-arrest tactic.
When did this hanging incident occur?
You don't have to answer any of his questions.
The fixer turns to remind Titus.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
How long had you known the victim?
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Yeah! Who do you think we are?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier, the representative for White Pines? The same company you are striking against?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what?
He rubs his chin, pretending to mull it over.
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
Who called the shots that night?
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardy boy without arresting all Hardy boys. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
Shadow of a smirk passes her lips as she tilts her head.
A trick question. Don't let her lead the conversation.
Address Titus. No, but seriously, who calls the shots around here?
Who do you fucking think does?
Point at Titus. You do. You give the commands.
That's right, asshole. Titus Hardy runs the Hardy Boys. Ain't that so, fellas?
He looks around for approval.
I think you got your answer, Mr. Law.
No. You did not get an answer. Titus does administrative work. He pushes paper, fills out forms. The others can't read. But on that night, they all acted as one man.
You murdered him, just like that. No remorse?
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Chaise électrique is the method of capital punishment in Revachol under the Coalition. During the suzerain's reign, it used to be the firing squad.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
He says as if it were worse than dying. Yeah, but these were all bad people. Criminals, the scum of the earth.
Rest assured, lawman. None worse than our guy. He got what was coming to him.
Why did you kill him?
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town.
So he was a mercenary, that's it?
And he stepped out of line.
He repeats, jaw clamped shut like a vice.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Kohoy and Semenine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
Hold on, how do you know? How do you even know he was in Special Forces?
Cause one night he walked straight up to the mic and said, I'm Oranese goddamn Special Forces, and I'm gonna fuck you all.
Really?
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang some Oranese paratrooper song, and said he's gonna fuck everyone.
We couldn't believe it either, but he fucking did. Right there. Like
Points at
some
the
kind
stage.
of animal.
This is a serious violation of the karaoke code.
Right, but what did he actually do wrong?
Wrong? He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
He wiped spittle from his mouth.
From rape to harassment to threats of violence. Why the strange de-escalation? He regrets mentioning it. Hopes you didn't notice.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. That was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
He grabbed someone?
The lieutenant is trying to make sense of this flood of information.
Yeah, this girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
He shakes his head in disbelief. Was this the same girl who was sexually assaulted? Raped, as you said.
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Yeah, me and Eugene got around. Aren't you fucking
He
listening?
repeats like a parrot.
Seems like they don't want to talk about that rape Titus mentioned. Why not? This is a serious allegation. Make them talk about it.
Right, but who did the rape then? This is a very serious allegation.
No. You're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter. And I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
How did you kill him?
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, Copper?
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
This is where an autopsy would come in handy. You have to work with what you know.
We need more. Did you muffle him? We haven't heard any reports of screams.
Titus, you don't have to clarify anything.
We overpowered him, dragged his unconscious body to the tree, put a noose around his neck, and hanged him till he was dead and steady.
Then we left him for seagulls, maggots, and you fucks.
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first, then see if it all adds up.
Was he a trained killer from Morney's Special Forces? If yes, then how did you manage to overpower him?
With numbers, asshole. How do you think? You're right, Lizzie. I've done enough explaining here.
No, he hasn't. Not yet.
Where did this overpowering happen?
Weren't you fucking listening? The fucker came to our bar. It happened right here.
Composure challenging 12. Things aren't quite right here, are they?
Actually, they're admirably, surprisingly composed. The entire room. Given how many questions you've lobbed their way.
All of them. Maybe one of them is fidgeting, cracking under pressure.
Well, this one. But he's always fidgeting, so don't get your hopes up.
Right, I have other questions about the lynching.
Like what, Copper?
Why don't I just arrest you? Step closer to Titus.
Yeah, lawman. Why don't you?
He takes a step closer as well, fixing his bull cap.
It's almost an anthropological sight, watching him try to assert dominance over you.
Not in the arresting mood?
His mean little eyes come alive in hatred.
A fearful readiness, like an electrical charge, raises hairs in the room. By your side, the lieutenant keeps his hand away from his holster. You hear the nylon of his coat hiss as he steps closer. Easy. Walk back from the provocation. They're armed, and they outnumber us. The lieutenant tries to establish eye contact with you.
He's now. Let's just talk. Back off.
Wise move. You made the right choice there.
So what are we going to do now?
Make another.
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus.
The lieutenant closes his notebook.
I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder. Even if it is a group responsibility. We're going to look into this.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us. Real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
I'm going to take off now.
Both cables are unplugged from the breaker box.
Plug in the black cable.
Somewhere, a machine hums along with the current, happy and contented. This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut.
Turn the ice cream crank.
Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance, you hear water dripping.
-20. Pry bar not strong enough. +1. Better grip with gloves.
Tangiers' eyes are dead and empty.
I guess I need a better tool then. How the fuck did I get there?
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite. An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite. Because it's nice and orderly, rhythmic pattern calms.
Smells like spoiled meat and curdly dairy. A human being decomposed.
Fuck does Kuno care?
I gotta ask, who is Kuno?
Kuno's Kuno, pig?
The boy points his chest with both thumbs.
It's always Kuno, never I. Clearly the kid's using the third-person perspective as a shield. Kuno. Primal. Violent.
Interesting. You refer to yourself in the third person to distance yourself from the situation.
Kuno doesn't do that smart shit. Don't throw that bullshit at Kuno. Kuno knows you're lying. Trying to get Kuno hooked on the book.
Watch out, Kuno! He's trying to fiddle you! He's gonna put his hands on you!
A thing behind the fence starts squealing, thrill and violent like a fire alarm.
Help! Pig's got Kuno! Help! Ray!
What the fuck? The sound gets louder as the child shouts at the window overlooking the yard.
Help! He's got the Kuno, help!
I'm not doing anything, see?
Everybody, please! He's digging his dick out!
Oh, really?
Escalate, Kuno! His dick is out! You're afraid!
Pigs in here, Kuno! Somebody, please!
It's full blast now. The wind carries the message far and wide across Martinez.
Look at his shit-eating grin. He knows there's nothing you can do to him. He's bullying you, and you are helpless. Kill him. Kill him now. He won't see death coming. Scare him. How did this happen? You can still get out of this. Appeal to his reason.
Be logical, kid. I haven't done anything to you.
Fucking logical! Help! The logical pig is fiddling Kuno!
What is this sick charade?
No! Get off Kuno, you sick fat fuck!
Who put you up to this?
No one. Kuno's doing this because he likes it, pig.
This is where Kuno establishes dominance over you. Change of plan. You can't let that happen. It will make things harder down the line. You may end up missing crucial information.
Help! The pig's gagging him! Kuno can't speak!
Someone put you up to this.
You put him up to this yourself when you decided to talk to him in the first place.
Listen to your friend.
Kuno hawks a loogie on the ground. The phlegm is yellowish and bubbling somehow. Did Garth put you up to this?
Kuno owns the fat ass. Help! The RCM is trying to fuck Kuno!
Are you high right now?
Help! Misters, help!
He prances around, eyes bulging out of their sockets, rolling hard, yelling at the windows.
Rolling super hard.
He's flashing Kuno! He's showing his genitals! If you don't help Kuno now, it'll be too late!
Physical instrument, challenging 12. Shut him down. Great success.
You didn't shut him down. Your fat fist didn't meet its target. Instead, it pulled you down with it.
Say nothing. Try to hold it together.
Pig's trying not to cry. Kuno can't believe this shit. Can no one stop the Kuno?
It's like he now realizes he has superpowers.
Pig, Kuno thought you had this. What happened? Kuno can't do anything now.
He's riding with joy, like the power you gave him is too much to take.
Fucked your shoulder, fucked your knee, fucked your fat body up.
Yeah, I deserve this.
Yeah, you deserve this. Trying to show your dick to Kuno. Kuno was scared.
Yeah, laugh it up. Let's just get back to it.
Kuno beat the shit out of the popo. Beat your fucking knee off.
I told you not to tempt such forces.
The annoyance in his voice is directed at you, not the gremlins.
Now, how about we go and do something worth the public's time?
You one sorry piece of shit. A cop penitent, a flagellant cop monk. Okay. Unlock a new slot to research the thought. Oh, okay. I need to unlock those slots somehow. Okay, unlock. Okay, I need some unlock points or something then, I guess.
Looking for something?
Found his mug in the trash. Show it to the man. Yours?
Oh man, that's great. Look at that guy go. Haven't seen anything that funny in a while.
Is it yours?
God damn. Thanks for that, but no, it's not mine.
He doesn't live in Martinez.
What was that argument all about?
It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races. Not the most popular topic nowadays, with the coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep.
Change the topic. The way he says it makes it almost sound like a threat.
Oh, so you're just racist. Makes sense.
I'm not just racist. Look, I've read books. Huh? The science of racial theory has all been proved, even if some people don't want to accept it. People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that.
Yeah, I can really tell you're a prime example of superior design.
Open your eyes. Haven't you noticed something different lately? An unfortunate downturn, maybe? Huh? When members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority, they stop competing for resources.
Okay, and?
This concerns you, policeman, so you better be vigilant. The damn kids are showing up good lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other intruder species too. They're on the precipice of cultural victory.
Cultural victory? What is this then?
Uh-huh.
It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? You might end up with a new sub-race, with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring.
Yeah, I'm not down with this. Why don't you go fuck yourself?
Don't push your luck, runt.
The man gives you a disgusted look, then turns his attention elsewhere, ignoring your presence.
The already familiar cold touch of
All around you, great machines in quiescence. Quiescence. Something, I don't know.
a rusting control panel with several knobs. The words mark no screech of metal when you push the button. The crane does not return to its... You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened. Before you is a walrus of a man, seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you.
One sec, I need to go throw some food in the oven. Okay, I'm back. Are you in charge of the dock workers?
To stop by. Please, have a seat. I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand?
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device.
You go ahead, detective.
The lieutenant nods at you, then the chair.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Why are you calling me, Mr. Dubois?
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's nothing. Forget about it. Filter it out.
Take a seat.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another.
Remain serious.
So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say. This should take care of that nonsense.
He points to a giant novelty check on his desk. It's absolutely comically huge.
It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
He points at it again.
Hey, that's 25 real. That's good money. Think of all the stuff you could.
Wait, you know Garth?
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man in him. A real piece of work, that boy is.
With a grin, he points to the checker game.
Take
It's
on
like you're
Lawrence
on a
check.
game show.
Don't say it.
Is there anything you'd like to say to me? Or...
No.
Oh, it's cool. You got integrity.
Cool? I wouldn't go that far. I'm sure there are cooler things than delivering a comically oversized novelty check to a cafeteria manager. But, sure, if that's what's cool nowadays. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only two words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun.
How do you know about my lost gun?
I know everything, Harry. Right now, I know that you're worried. Don't be worried. Everything's going to be all right. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
The chair is killing you. Kim.
Officer, we will deal with this later. We don't need Mr. Clare's help with this.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Don't panic.
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your gun and those children are gonna shoot themselves with it.
No, I'm not about to cry. Try to stay cool.
Mr. Dubois, you don't look so good.
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating. What is he trying to pull here? You need to cool the fuck down. Chill.
Sorry about that. What is this? Oh.
Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois! Harry!
He's sliding down the chair like a yellow shot. There are no Harrys. Let your mind go to your safe place.
Mr. Dubois, are you okay? Can I get you a glass of water or something? Are you having some kind of medical emergency?
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
Nah, I'm as good as it gets, Mr. Dubois. Vaguely gesture with your hands above your head.
Don't be dramatic. I can see your condition isn't terminal.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it was, I'm afraid we're wasting our time. And I'm an extremely busy man, as I'm sure you are too.
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together and ask him questions. Police officer question. It is about time to stop embarrassing yourself. Questions will help you regain some of your lost dignity.
I'm told the Union is involved in the local gun trade, or drug trade.
What? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much as any jolly fat guy, but I can't take slander. Are you actually investigating this?
I am.
You've hurt me, Harry. Me, a friend. But you know what?
He perks up.
And gets over it in 2 seconds. Seems like it didn't really hurt him.
I trust you, like I trust all my friends. And I know you'll never talk to me about this again, because you don't want to wound me. So do what you want, and let's change the subject.
He's hiding his real reaction beneath courtesy.
Thank you for your understanding. We will continue to do what we must.
You too, Lieutenant. You know, I like you, but you never were my favorite. I'm a Harry guy. I'm Team Harry.
None taken. Did we have anything else to do here, Harry?
You called me Mr. Dubois. Why?
Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everard, I call you Harry.
That's what the hanged corpse called you. Harry.
So that's really my name?
My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that?
He shrugs with an amazed expression.
I think the odds of that are very low.
It might be a good idea to hide your confusion. I mean, see what his game is first.
My memory's fine, I'm just testing you.
So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources were wrong. However, if you did have a spot of memory trouble, I could help you out. With my big fat folder.
Words flow like a river of honey from his lips. I guess word has already reached him. No matter. No harm done.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
The lieutenant inspects Everett over his spectacles.
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now.
Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first.
What kind of cop does it say I am?
Well, Harry, if I were to sum you up in one word, it would be apologetic.
I'm sorry.
Yes. You seem to be. And not at the time. But right now, there's no reason to be. Let loose a little. Be you.
Where did you get that folder?
Ah, this? My friends in your organization gave it to me, Harry.
This translates into, haha, you guys are so corrupt.
I find that very suspicious. May I have a look?
I'm afraid this is meant for Union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand. Please continue, Harry.
Let's get this straight. What is my full name?
It's Harry. Harry Dubois.
Okay, I like it. I can work with
And I can work with you, Harry. Now, What else can I do for you?
Do you know anything about my family? Do I have kids, wife or kids, or...
Family? Harry, you're not a family man. There's not one peep of family in here. Unless you think you're a family man. Do you strike yourself as a family man, Harry?
You're right, I don't.
That's why I like you, Harry. A good man knows both his strengths and his weaknesses, and you, my friend, you are one of the all-time greats.
Have another look at that folder.
As you look at the folder, Everard covers it with his hand and pets it. He's hiding it from you because it's not a real RCM folder. It's just another one of those brown folders you saw in the file cabinet.
That's not an RCM folder.
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them.
He got the name from the Census Bureau, and everything else from your actions here in Martinez.
Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi from the Census Bureau. Like I said, now I'm actually a very busy man. So is there anything else I can do for you, Harry?
That means he doesn't really know anything about you. A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being.
So the Census Bureau says my name is Harry Dubois.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on.
Aren't you going to ask me how I got it?
Am I going to ask? Hell, Harry. You spin-kicked my strongest man in the face. I saw it from my window. Would you ask a man like that how he got into your container yard?
You don't have a window.
It was a figure of speech, Harry. Of course I don't have a window. I'm in a container. Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it.
Could you help me get a dead body down from a tree?
You might have noticed there's one hanging on a tree behind the hostel cafeteria.
Oh my! Don't take this question personally, but why would I get involved in this matter?
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt, a steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to assume the Union had something to do with the murder. Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
You're a community leader. Help your community out.
I can certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values.
He licks his fat lips and smiles.
But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you.
He picks up the handset of a radio phone to his right and clicks a button.
Jean-Luc, the cop who bested you in physical combat is here, and he has a little dead body in a tree problem. Namely, he needs it to be taken down. Please extend him this courtesy. You can find Luke down at the gates, but you already knew that. Anyway, he's going to help you, now that he's back on his feet.
Let's talk about my lost gun.
Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, everyone. Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that. It's just a matter of time and effort.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
I will not be blackmailed with this gun business.
Harry! I was only trying to be tactful. A lost gun is a dangerous thing. I can't have it around in my neighborhood. Kids could be playing gun roulette with it as we speak. Teenage gangs could be arming themselves. Get a hold of yourself, Harry.
I assure you we are working on locating the missing sidearm as well.
The lieutenant is concerned about the lost gun and feels that the fact you haven't prioritized looking for it is unfortunate, if inevitable, and doesn't put the RCM in a good light.
Excellent, Mr. Kitsuragi. That's excellent news.
I want to talk
Looks
about
like
the
we have a friendly gun-finding competition on our hands. Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to help you like I'm helping you with the body and your lost gun. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me, but there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines, incredibly talented at opening doors.
I've opened a few doors in my life.
And I'm sure you're going to open this one with flying colors, Harry. This really is very simple, and there's nothing shady about it.
Does this jiggling ooze think he's going to use you? He's got another thing coming. Play his game, son, with your eyes peeled. He's going to slip up, and when he does, you're going to come out on top.
I bet you don't even know anything about the hanging.
Harry, my dear friend, I am what people call a local bigwig. I know everything that goes on in Martinez.
Why don't you just open it yourself?
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do. You look like you could run around all day.
You want to send someone a message that the police are working for you.
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore I must occasionally enlist outside help. So what will it be, Harry?
Whose door is it?
Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about.
What do you mean by a weasel?
A loud, blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly.
He removes his glasses and rubs his nose.
Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry. I just want this to be over so I can discuss business with you.
I can't accept this thing. Refuse the task for now.
Of course, Harry, I understand. But if that's the case, I don't think we'll ever find your gun. Even worse, we won't be able to speak like equals about the murder. Perhaps this was just bad timing for you. Know that you can always come back to me. I really hope you do. For your sake, my sake, and for your gun's sake too.
Yes, we both understand what you meant.
This may be the only way, he thinks. I won't hold it against you. In fact, we probably should reconsider later.
I'm looking into your shady brew.
I don't know what that means, Harry. Shady brew? There are so many moving parts in my operations, I can't keep track of them all. You know what? Don't even tell me. Whatever it is, do it. Surprise me. Just one thing. If you can, make it even shadier.
He sincerely has no idea what you were talking about. And he doesn't care either.
I met Joyce, the company representative.
Oh, that's very nice. I haven't gotten around to her yet. I'm very, very busy, you see. I hope you're getting along. One thing I want to make very clear, Harry, is that this is not some kind of union versus corporation situation. Everyone is just pals here.
Just pals?
We're all trying to do what's best for Martinez here. Don't feel like you can't cooperate with her, because you and I are such good friends, and I'm helping you get that nasty body down from the tree. And with finding your lost gun. I'm not a jealous guy.
What happened to the previous negotiator, Mr. Gaumont?
What do you mean, Harry? Nothing. I let him go.
He made concessions for the company in previous negotiations. Why would you let an ally like that go?
He's an old man, Harry. I wanted him to spend more time with his family. God knows how long he's got left.
You called him a midget.
Harry! I have little people in my organization. I would never call someone a midget. What is this? Honestly, I'm beginning to think you're a midget, Harry. I'm only kidding, Harry. You're not a midget. No one is. We're pals.
It's hard to say if he really lost his temper, or if this is another one of his tricks. This man almost never angers visibly.
Joyce said the previous union leader vanished under suspicious circumstances.
Vanished? Harry, the woman left her casserole in the oven and couldn't make it here in time for the voting. Oh, did I leave my casserole on? Better go home and check. The election can wait. When she got back, the whole thing was over.
Wait, there was no mention of a casserole from Joyce.
Funny, Joyce didn't mention any casserole.
Harry, Harry, Harry. Do not fixate on this little matter. Maybe it was a rabbit stew, or a hairdryer, or an iron. The point is, her heart wasn't in it. Mine was.
Everett, Joyce seems to think the Union is lowballing her.
Yes, yes. Low balling, of course. This isn't a casino, Harry. Real people, real livelihoods are at stake here. But everything's a casino for those rich types.
His expression makes it clear. This is childish and irresponsible behavior.
Why haven't you let her in to see you?
If she actually wants to see me, she will find a way. Any good negotiator would. And I just don't have anything to discuss with a bad negotiator.
He doesn't want to see her. It's as simple as that.
Okay, let's talk about something else.
Of course, Harry. Let me just assure you one more time. It's perfectly okay to share anything we discuss here with this Joyce. This is a completely transparent organization. I have no interest in what she is doing, but I myself have nothing to hide. Your business is your business, and I respect your privacy. Just remember, none of this is secret. Tell her about all of it. My brother's picture, my singing swordfish clock. Tell her how overweight I am and how I'm helping you find your lost gun. Tell her about everything. Everett doesn't mind.
Hello.
It is rather interesting to tell people things about each other, isn't it? It was nice telling him about her right now. This is weird. Not nice weird, but okay.
What's in the container that's outside your office?
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbor. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them.
There's something special about it. It was attached to the Qualson crane.
Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
Everett, I'm going to leave now, but we might talk again later.
See you soon, Debardeur. Just kidding, but not too much.
Giant novelty shack. I'm guessing you're gonna have an easier time to convince the container, but it's still gonna be rough. I see.
You're back before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
And at the bottom, the Union logo and demand democracy.
Do not presume this has drastically altered our race dynamique.
I knocked you out like a god of martial arts.
True. I said nothing about our personal dynamic. That has altered. A little.
Everett told you to help us get the body down from the tree.
So it was. You bested me in race combat to reach my superior, then had him give me an order. I salute your cunning, enemy. I will go and remove the body from the tree with my bare hands.
You're so noble, Measurehead.
There's a but.
But while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. Both of you.
Lieutenant, what if we don't want to do that?
This is the uncomfortable result of not taking it on ourselves. I can live with a compromise.
Listen to your little friend. He is wise in his childlike way. His mysterious race may yet prove fierce competition to my heroic haplogroup.
Okay then, wait here where Measurehead goes.
Babe, see that they stay here the whole time.
The woman's gaze follows Measurehead as he leaves.
So, you guys are like cops or something?
Yeah, we're the law around here.
Cool. I like men with guns and power. I'm Katya, by the way.
You hear that? That sound. He's breaking something.
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it.
I also wish I could see it.
Look at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like Evrot's lapdogs! Is this where it's at now? The RCM is for sale!
And who are you? What is your business here? Why are your clothes 4 sizes too small for you?
That's none of your business.
A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinez. It's Kuno. Then, the man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have sided with Ray's victory today.
There has been no side choosing. We did what we had to keep the order.
And what you had to do was to become a Union man for all to see.
Why are you not with the Hardy Boys?
I am not the first line of defense. I am the last. In addition, these so-called Hardy Boys are an effeminate clique of bodybuilders. Their company is spiritually degrading.
But you're all part of the Union.
The Hardy manlets are on the pay of the company. I answer to the Union alone. And I do this out of race heroism. Finance is an alien concept to the Simonies. Now leave me be. I must luxuriate in the company of my woman.
Isn't Everard, the Union boss, white?
Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that.
You keep telling yourself that.
Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront International Capital, which is something your race naivistic communists never. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic.
Communism is pretty cool.
Idiotic communism is the single greatest contributor to your race descent. Everywhere around you. The fruits of its failure to challenge the world order. Individualism, rock and roll music, sexually transmitted diseases, above all, rampant multinational finance still reigning large. Tell me, where have you gotten your love of pathetic communism from? Degenerate youth culture? Rock and roll music?
Youth culture does not affect my thinking.
Of course it does. You are a degenerate individualist and a rock and roll rebel. A pawn of international finance, just like the rest of your ham-colored race. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminese race.
Wonderful. We're done with this line of inquiry.
Measurehead stoically looks to the distance, in silence.
Kim, what do you think about this?
I think this racist is better than the last. But the next racist will be the really good one.
That will be the...
That would be our lucky racist.
He will grant us 3 wishes.
Your pedomorphic friend has quick wits, a protruding occiput, and an indented zygomatic bone.
The lieutenant does not flinch.
You should keep him close. The congenital defect of farsightedness does not render him a complete invalid. He still has the use of his mind.
Okay, time to, go eat some dinner, but I'll be back in a bit